Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I start on the brake upgrades for my 99 Subaru Impreza. To start with, I'm unboxing the calipers I'll be using. These are WRX 4-pot, 2-pot calipers. It's a really common upgrade for this car. I bought these remanufactured. They're fairly cost effective and they came in looking really nice actually. All the seals look good, the pistons look good, as I came to find out as I disassembled them. You might be wondering why I'm disassembling them, and I'll get to that in a second. So to get these pistons out, you usually use compressed air. This is the only gun I can find. I know I have another one somewhere with a rubber tip, but so I'm gonna have to kind of jerry-rig some kind of adapter, because this isn't airtight, it just blows around this collar. I'm gonna have to come up with some way to make that airtight. So this is the plug that goes in here. It's just the plug that they ship it with. I think if I poke a hole in this, just got some wire tape. Just put it right off. Nice. So you may have figured out I'm disassembling these calipers so that I can send them off to be powder coated. You don't want any of the boots or O-rings, any rubber on the calipers when they bake. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm disassembling them, cleaning them, and packaging them up so I can ship them off. So I've taken my air gun and some shrink tubing, and then just the little plug that it shipped with. So I know it fits in the hole. We'll see if it's airtight. It's cool now. Turn my pressure down to 50 psi. I had it cranked before, so it's not super airtight. Like at all, actually. this point, I've showed just about every single piece and step of disassembling the rear calipers. So we're just going to time lapse through the fronts. They're pretty much the same. They just have 2 extra sets of everything, 2 extra pistons, 2 extra sets of all their seals and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually pretty relaxing. It was a nice after work task to do. Just taking everything apart. Everything was nice and new and not rusty at all. So it was a pretty enjoyable project, taking these apart, and kind of meditative, honestly. I actually got these rotors in a pile of parts a friend gave to me. He's kind of cleaning out his garage. I wasn't even sure what these are for, but I think these are going to be the right size. I'm going to throw one on the car, make sure it's 5x100. So I got everything I need here for this brake job. I got these rotors. They're just centric blanks. I got the ones that are coated. Those are for the rear. New parking brake shoes, parking brake hardware. This is the brake hardware for the rear pads and front pads. I didn't get anything crazy. I kind of just got like a decent daily driver pad for now, just to get me on the road. Probably upgrade to some more sporty pad down the road, but just trying to get everything functioning. So get the rear adapter kit with all its hardware. We got some assembly lube for the calipers when we put them back together, and then I got some brake fluid. So we are pretty set. Calipers are over there. I'm actually getting ready to ship them out to get powder coated. They're all disassembled, so I actually did a rear disc brake conversion on this car. The L came with drum brakes originally. I actually swapped the whole rear subframe, lateral links, knuckles, and hubs from an RS25. So yeah, it's got disc brakes now in the rear, and it's ready to accept the WRX 2 pots in the rear. So that'll be good. And then I think I mentioned in my last video, I've got new brake lines, which I need to do a better job of securing them. I kind of just ran them and haven't gotten under there to tidy them up yet, but those are new up to, I can get the seat out of the way, right there where they go down underneath and split from there. So all the rear brake lines in the back are new, so that's good. I keep forgetting, I also got stainless brake lines for the front and rear stop tech. So I think this is going to be a pretty nice package. I'm not like trying to track this car as soon as I get it on the ground or anything. There's going to be a lot of bugs to work out, so I really want to get some miles in. I wasn't necessarily going to run drilled and slotted. I think drilled and slotted rotors are kind of gimmicky unless you're a full track car, and even then I think I would just do slotted. But I got these in a bin of parts from a friend, so they're free and they are the right size. They're WRX rotors, so I mean, like I said, just to get this car moving again, I might as well use them, and when they wear out, I'll probably upgrade them. So give me some time to get some miles in on this car, and then we can, you know, decide what kind of pads and rotors it needs from there. But I'm getting pretty excited to throw all this together again and have a car that has working brakes. It's always fun putting new parts on something. It should go pretty smooth. I mean, everything's pretty much off the car. I have to take the parking brake hardware off on the passenger side. I'm going to clean and paint what I can before I really put everything together. So that worked pretty well. Literally just got in there and popped all the rivets. A little bit of the rivets are still left behind, but I'm just going to take a grinder wheel, maybe a flat disc, and clean all this up. This lip here is actually rubbing somewhere. I can't really figure it out where, but I think I'm just going to grind the majority of it off. So I'm using these adapters for the rear two pots. They use these spacers, but more or less they actually bolt up back here using those spacers, and they're pretty nice quality. The hardware it came with seems pretty nice, but I had problems with these two holes. And I've read that other people have had this problem too, but they didn't quite line up with these two holes. I had to drill this hole out. I drilled it out to a 1/2 inch hole. I believe it's a 3/8 hole. It's metric, but it's slightly heavier than 3/8. So I drilled this out to a 1/2 inch, so everything bolts up fine. But I didn't like how these socket cap screws were not. To me, there wasn't enough surface area. So thankfully, I have a set of ARP washers from last time I did heads on my Outback, and they are the perfect size for this, and they're hardened. If they're good enough for torquing down a head bolt, I think they'll be plenty strong for this. So just FYI, if you use one of these cheaper options for these brackets, you might end up having to drill that hole out, and I don't think I'd advise it, but if you do, I would suggest you use some kind of hardened washer for that surface, that mating surface. Using a bit of thread locker on those bolts as well, the two that bolt the bracket to the backing plate. Does anybody else hate that they put thread locker blue in a red tube? Kind of do. Oh, that's really goopy. Nice, that comes right out. Probably shouldn't get this on your fingers. But here I am. Take any effort to do that. Like that. So there's two kinds of spacers. One's got a good portion flattened on it. That is for spacing out the caliper itself with these bolts. So we'll save those for later, but now we want the large round spacers. One washer on that bottom hole that we drilled out, and one regular one. So the screw's going to go through the hole, through the face of the hole, spacer in the back here, and the bracket, adapter bracket is threaded. So thread that in there. Just get it kind of close to tight so we can line up our other one. And this is the one I drilled out, and I'm also using that ARP washer on. Start it there. Oh, come on. Other than the center points of these holes not lining up perfectly, everything else seems pretty good. I mocked this up with my old Grody caliper, and it all fit pretty nice. So this is a 10. Oh no, I'm using a 5/16. It's a 5/16. Okay. Seems like I used standard hardware on this. All right. Not that tight. All right. Those are on. I'll go ahead and show you just real quick that these go into your caliper. Your caliper's threaded, obviously, and then this flat part is flat so that it clears this ear here. That'll go through there. That'll go through there. And that's it. Pretty simple. The other way of doing this is to swap a backing plate from the corresponding WRX. But to do that on this car, you actually have to press apart the hubs. And at that point, you might as well do your wheel bearings. And my bearings are fine. So I just felt like this was a fine solution for now. If I do ever end up doing rear wheel bearings on this car, I'll probably just go ahead and buy the 2006 backing plates too, so I can not have to use these. But I think for now, these are a fine solution. A lot of people use them. And yeah, that's that. Hey, what's up? You wanna be in the video? This is Apollo. You might have seen him in a couple other. Okay, stop. All right, you got him? All right. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna call this video quits here. It's getting pretty long and I think it's a good stopping point. I've got everything prepped and cleaned and painted and ready for all the new hardware that we're gonna throw at this. I'm still waiting on the calipers from Powder Coat, so I can't really do a whole lot right now at the moment anyhow. I'm very excited to show you guys the color. It's a specific color I've been set on for years now, and I'm eager to see what you guys think. Leave a comment below if you have any guesses to what it might be. It's not red, that's the OEM color. That would look really cool, but I wanted to do something a little different. And most of this car is gonna be white or black, so I wanted a little bit of color anyhow. So yeah, stay tuned to see what that looks like. I owe you guys a thanks for watching this today. I really appreciate all the feedback I've been getting with this project. I read every comment, I try to reply to every comment. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you have any ideas, questions, concerns, leave them below. If there's something I can offer more than just bringing you guys along with me while I swing a hammer at a rusty car, by all means, feel free to drop any suggestions. I am by no means an expert or a Subaru tech, but I have been messing with these cars for about 10 years now. I've got a pretty cool network of other Subaru enthusiasts, so I think between the lot of us, there's a wealth of information out there for these cars, specifically for the Impreza, but for Subarus in general. If there's anything you want to see, like I said, just let me know. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one.